Hi everyone, how are you? My name is Sheyo Basi. I am the creator of the Canada Japa system, and I want to thank you for stopping by my channel. I want to talk about something that is very close to my heart, and I know that if you're an immigrant in Canada or you're planning to be an immigrant in Canada, this will be very important to you. So I've titled it, Do I Regret Coming to Canada? The Truth and Lies No One Told Me. But before we go ahead, I want to ask you to please subscribe to my video, to my YouTube channel, like this video, share it as well. Okay, so do I regret coming to Canada? The truth and lies no one told me. Now, the reason why I'm doing this video is because I get a lot of people reach out to me to say, oh, my friend said Canada has no jobs, or my friend said I shouldn't come to Canada, life is hard, or I have this friend in Canada that wants to come back to Nigeria. Some even say they have friends in the UK that want to come back to Nigeria, probably regret going there, and all sorts. I also have some people who are in Canada also complaining about the economy, complaining that they are not doing well. Canada is basically a fraud, so to speak. And there are all these things flying around. So people that are outside of Canada are unsure of whether this is a good decision because people in Canada are sort of like discouraging them from coming. And some people also are like, why don't you come back home if Canada is that good? So this is what I want to talk about. I'm not going to make the video too long. I'm just going to touch on the basic important things that I think that you need to know if you're a new immigrant in Canada or you're planning to come to Canada. So what are these things that people complain about? Some people come to Canada, they've been here, what, 2, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, and they're already complaining about a lot of things. They tell their relatives and friends back home because they tell them the half story, they don't tell them all of it, and those people get scared. So some of the things that they actually complain about is the bills. People complain that the bills are too much. They complain about taxes. They complain about not finding great jobs, the kind of jobs that they had back home or the kind of jobs that they would like to do. Some people go as far as complaining that they have to make appointments for everything, appointments to see a doctor, appointments to get their car fixed. People complain about childcare. In Canada, you can't basically come with a house help, the way we have back home. Back home, you can have a relative staying with you, looking after your children. You don't even have to pay them anything, but you don't have that here in Canada. People complain about racism. Yeah, they say that people at work or people they meet are being racist to them. People also complain about insurance. They are forced to insure their cars. Some of them are forced to insure their houses. They complain about the kind of houses they get to live in. And then people also talk about loneliness. They are here, their families back home, friends are back home. They are lonely. And these are some of the things that happen. Then, of course, people talk about the weather. We forget the weather. Everybody knows Canada is cold. Before you came here, you obviously had heard that Canada is cold. So why complain about the weather? Why not just get prepared? So these are some of the things, and I'm going to touch on a few of these things and tell you what you can do and some of the truths about truth and lies about some of these things. Now, the thing is that when you made up your mind to come to Canada, you had a reason to come here. I don't subscribe to people immigrating or Japan just because others are Japan. You can't Japan because your friend is Japan. You can't Japan just because people in your office are Japan. You have to have your own why. What was that reason why you Japan? Basically when you get here and you have all of these challenges, that's your why is going to keep you going. Yeah. The second thing is that immigration is not for everybody. That's why I want to tie it to that why. It's not for everybody. Not everybody will get to Japan. Everybody will make it in a new country. Trust me, people here in Canada are making lots of money. There are people that are in their dream careers. There are people that have their dream homes. Of course, there are people that are not doing so well. Yeah, so there's one end of the spectrum to the other end of the spectrum. You can't be on this end of the spectrum and be saying that that is how everything is. And you can't be on that end and be saying that's how everything is. So there's a balancing. There are people on all the parts of the spectrum. So you might be on one end, tomorrow you're moving over to the other end. So you don't use your present situation to judge Canada in general or to judge everything about Canada. And then when it comes to work, coming to Canada, a lot of times when you go and look for jobs, they're asking for Canadian experience. It's annoying. I know it's annoying, but that's the way the system is. They want you to have Canada work experience before they can give you certain levels of jobs. A lot of people who were probably managers, senior managers back home, to come here and probably start on a lower position. It's expected. You're coming to a new country, you don't have their work experience, you probably don't even have their education. You should expect that you're not going to start at the top. You're going to start probably at the middle or somewhere in between, and then you start working your way to the top. Most of the people who are at the top here in Canada and who are immigrants things that there as well. They were ready to, to do the work. They were ready to take the time. They were ready to pay their dues. And they started off somewhere not so high. Start where you can and begin to show them your skills. Begin to show them your work ethics. Begin to show them the reason why they need to promote you and give you a better position. Don't complain about it. See, the thing about life is that if you complain, will give you things to complain about. But if you're someone who is grateful, who is thankful, life will give you things to be thankful about. You have to already know before you come here that you're probably not going to be starting from the top when it comes to career. You might have to build your career again. And getting a good job in Canada, a lot of times, it's about networking. Okay, sometimes the jobs that are great, but the jobs that are in some companies, they are not advertised. They don't put it on Indeed.ca. It's not on Facebook. Yeah, it's not on LinkedIn. Sometimes it is advertised within the company. So that's why you need to network. That's why you need to have a profile on LinkedIn. You need to reach out to recruitment officers or HR officers in these different companies. That's a whole lot of another video. But that is one thing you need to do when you get here. Okay. Now, let's talk about the weather. People come and say Canada is cold. They want to die of cold. I mean, if you have a condition that you can't live in the cold, it's probably not for you. Yeah. It is cold maybe 4 to 5 months of the year, if not more. Yeah, it is warm, very warm in the summer, but then the summer is just maybe 3 to 4 months. The rest of the year, it's different levels of cold. From December to about March, it's winter. It is very cold. And depending on what part of Canada you are, it can get really cold. So you need to already know that before you come. And then you need to begin to ask questions. How do people even live here? Think about getting all the snow gear that you need. The right boots, the right jacket, the right hat. Don't be stingy when it comes to getting what you need to stay warm. Okay, buy the best of the best when it comes to your winter gear. Buy the best boots, buy the best jackets, buy the best gloves, and try and make sure that your house is heated. Now, depending on where you live, you might have or you might not have control over the heating. Yeah. And then a lot of people are worried about bills again when it comes to heating their homes. I mean, you need to think about your health in terms of bills. You need to make sure that you stay warm during the winter and then reduce the times you go out. If you have to go for groceries, you have to go to work or church, do that. But then, of course, social visits and, going out socially, you might have to reduce it during the winter months. That's one way to stay warm. It will take you a bit of a time to get acclimatized to the cold, but you really get used to cold, as they say. But then, of course, if you've gone through 1 or 2 winters, you understand how it is during winter. You're not depressed anymore. When winter is coming, you are actually prepared. So Canada is cold. Have that in mind before you come, so that it's not something that you're complaining about. Prepared. The thing about being successful is being prepared. And then when it comes to cold in Canada, being prepared is one of that. Now let's talk about bills. A lot of people come, they complain about the bills, the house rents, the water bills, the electricity bills, the kind of bills. The thing is that when you're not paying bills back home, do you understand? When you're not paying NEPA, when you're not paying MTN bills, when you're not paying your phone bills, when you're not paying whatever bills, rent, we were paying those bills back home as well. So why do you come to Canada and complain about bills? I mean, don't you want to pay your bills? So bills is like it's normal. Bills is normal. And then I don't know, depending on your orientation and how you look at it, I mean, you're enjoying those services and those utilities. So you got to pay for them. And that's why it's important to make sure that you're networking and meeting up with the right people so that you can get a job that can pay your bills. Now, if you are new in Canada and you want to be, for example, a manager in a bank, and then you're not getting that manager job, try and do something else. Don't just sit at home and say, I'm looking for a manager job. You're doing something what they call survival jobs here in Canada. Do a survival job. Survival job will pay your bills. Survival job will pay your rent. Survival job will ensure your children are not hungry while you wait for that big job. Work on your CV, work on your resume. Make sure it's in Canada style. Make sure it's eye-catching. Make sure it has all the things that a recruiter is looking for. A recruiter probably looks at your resume maybe 3 seconds and then makes a decision. Make sure that those 3 seconds that they are looking at your resume, they're actually making a decision in your favor. And when you now get a job and you're working, or your spouse is working, then you don't have to worry so much about the bills, okay? You will continue to grow in your career. Probably get one or two side hustles. That is a completely different story as well. Probably get one or two side hustles that will also augment your income so that you're not struggling or, just crushing under the bills. Okay. Now let's talk about childcare. You can't come here with your house help. So you have to leave Monica back home when you're coming here. If you have kids, if you have really, really little kids that don't go to school, that means you're going to need childcare. Childcare is not cheap in Canada. It's not. It's the truth. It's not. So, I mean, some people have to go off work in order to just stay back home and look after the kids. Now, I mean, it's not fun. I mean, I would have liked to have a house help, but I'd like for you to have all the help you need. But if you can't have it, you got to work with what you have. You can't have house help, but there's childcare. There are all this under the table childcare, like they say. You can use one of them, you can utilize one of them if you have to go to work and you need someone to look after your child. A lot of times when you are here with your spouse, you sort of rearrange your schedule so that while one is working, the other one can be at home with the kids. If you both have to work at the same time, then you arrange childcare. Don't cry about it, don't fuss about it, don't complain about it. It is what it is. If you have a parent back home that you can invite, great. Go ahead and invite your mom or your mother-in-law to come and stay with your kids a bit. They can come on a visitor visa, stay for like 5 months, go back home and come again, and then help you with that until your children get to a certain age where they can now, go to school and you have a little bit of free time. Yeah. To for yourself, and also that you don't have to be stressing over childcare anymore. Then the other thing is people talk about loneliness. Oh my goodness, people complain about loneliness. I mean, you're here in Nigeria, your friends are not here, your family is not here, you're lonely, and it's even worse if you're here alone and you don't have family. You go suffer small. Somebody's expected. I mean, you came to a new country. You don't expect that, you would like sort of blend in immediately. And Canada actually is not like most of the African countries. And it's definitely not like Nigeria. The nightlife might not be the same with what you're used to in Nigeria, but there is nightlife for those who want it. I mean, people who do nightlife, go to the bar and all those, go to clubs, they find it. But the thing is that it might take you a little bit of time to make friends, okay? You won't see mommy or Juliana down the street. You can't just run into your neighbor's house and just. And a lot of people here are kind of private. Canadians are kind of private, so they might keep you at arm's length for a bit, but you will find people of your own descent, people from your own country, people in church. Try and network. Don't stay at home. Go to church. At the grocery, say hi to people. If you see someone from your country, say hi to them. Ask them their name. Exchange numbers. Be friendly. That's when you think someone is not friendly. They think you're not friendly too. If you're friendly and you show yourself friendly, someone will be friendly to you. Canada has all of these sorts of network. There are little networks you can find on Facebook, Marketplace. They do, like, people meet together, maybe Readers Club, Book Club, one or two of those clubs. They even have dating clubs and all that. Go to one or two of those. I've attended one or two of those. I've made one or two friends. That's a way to not die of loneliness here. And then try and keep in contact with your family back home. Skype, you can use Zoom, you can call on WhatsApp, and all that. So try and make friends with your neighbors as well. You're in a new country. Take you a while to get used to it. Take you a while to get used to the people. You will have more than enough friends that you can even deal with. So loneliness is not something you should be complaining about. It is what it is. Like they say here in Canada, you just have to make the best of the situation. Some people also complain about food. I did not talk about food at the beginning, but they talk about they want to eat their swallow or they want to eat their native food. Don't forget the saying that when you're in Rome, do like the Romans. I'm not saying you should completely forget about your country's food, but for crying out loud, you're in Canada now. You should try some of the Canadian cuisine as well and leave your own food alone. Don't complain about it. Your food in Canada is actually important. So number one, it will be expensive, more expensive than what you're used to. Number two, it might not be fresh, especially for things like fish or meat or chicken. vegetables, they will not be fresh. Of course, you can always get them. There are African stores everywhere in Canada. There are Indian stores, there are Chinese stores, there are restaurants that sell all sorts of African cuisine or foreign cuisine. If that is something that interests you, you can go there once in a while and just have fun, spend some money and eat that. Well, you can always cook your food, but please, 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 when you're in Canada, try and eat poutine or eat fries or eat one of those other Canadian food, pizza and all that, all the things that they like here in Canada. They seem to be cheaper than having to buy African food or having to buy imported food. And of course, I see people who also import food here. People get to send them food by cargo. Those who are really tied to their country's food, they can't let go. They have people send them cargo with food and all that. And it's not so expensive. I mean, they're sending it to you in large quantities in bulk. I guess it's whatever you have to pay. It will last you for some months before they now have to send you another set of your Nigerian food or your Chinese food or your Indian food or whatever country, your Ghana food or whatever it is. So if food is your own issue, you have a very small issue. Another big one that I want to talk about is racism. Yeah. Unlike the US, Canada is not big on racism on the outside, but that doesn't mean racism does not exist. I had someone say that if you're looking for racism, you find it. If you don't see racism, you won't see it. Now, don't assume that someone behaves a certain way to you means they are racist, or they don't like you because you're black, or they don't like you because of your color, or they don't like you because of the way you talk, or they don't like you because of your intonation. It's people that are rude here. There are people that will actually go all out to show you that they don't like you because of your color, because of your race. But those kind of people, you just kind of ignore them. I believe that they're in the minority. There is like a mellow kind of racism in Canada. It's not in your face like it is in the US. Um, but well, I don't know. I mean, you're in Canada, you're in their country. Even though a lot of people here are immigrants, like a great percentage of the people here are immigrants, of course, they've been here for long, they now start treating other immigrants, with some sort of racist attitude. I sort of ignore that. I don't see racism. I don't believe anybody's being racist to me. So I don't look for it, so I don't see it. But if you're looking for it, if you're trying to like interpret every nod or every word or every gesture as a racist gesture, then you're going to have a hard time. You're going to give yourself headache. Forget about it. Being racist or not, it's not your business. You do what you need to do. Keep on being great at your work. Keep on being nice to the neighbors. Keep on greeting that person that wouldn't answer you. Doesn't matter. Do it for you. Don't do it for them. So don't look for racism where there's no racism. Don't think that people are being racist to you. Yes, there might be that mellow racism, but just ignore it. Be nice to them instead. You know how Jesus said that? Turn the other cheek. If they ask for your coat, to give them your cloak as well. You have to be the change that you yourself are looking for. Another thing I talked about was taxes. They say there are two ways to die in Canada, by death or by taxes. Taxes are a huge thing in Canada. Not just in Canada, in the US as well. You are taxed. Practically like everything. There are some tax brackets that are as high as 40%, which is just sad. Sometimes you look at your paycheck and you're like, look at what I worked for and look at what I'm getting. The truth is that the taxes that you pay is what gives you all the great things that you see in Canada, the great roads, the electricity, the heating, the amenities, all the good things that you get, they are paid by taxes. And if you came from a country that you didn't used to pay taxes or you could evade taxes, I know, I mean, you had to pay, but you could evade it. And the only sad thing is that you cannot sort of evade it here. You pay taxes when you go and shop like 13% here in Ontario. It's different. It's 15% in Nova Scotia, but it's 13% here. For me, I just pricing into everything. If I'm going to shop and it's like $100, I know that I'm paying 113. I already have it in my mind. It is what it is. There's nothing you can do about it. You can stress about it. You can cry about it. You can talk about it. You can complain about it. It doesn't change. That's how it is. You pay taxes. And then I guess as your income increases, your taxes sort of increases too. But the thing that I think that you need to do when it comes to taxes is accept it and then try and do the side hustles. Yeah. Some people work 2, 3 jobs. I'm advocate that me, I don't get power. I can't do 2, 3 jobs. But then try and look for side hustles. There are a lot of side hustles, a lot of ways to make money in Canada. People don't know. Some people know and they ignore. They don't listen until, when they're probably in debt or something, they now start looking for it. So immediately you get to Canada or you're coming to Canada, try and connect with someone who knows these things. I know some of them. I can connect to you if you reach out to me. I can show you some of the things you can do to begin to earn money in the side. Some of these monies you earn might even be more than what you're getting in salary. A lot of people I know who have left their jobs to do some of these side hustles on a full-time basis, okay? So try and do that. And then when it comes to insurance, you have to insure your car. Like if you're going to drive a car here in Canada, you must insure it though. You can't just go and drive a car without insurance. So I mean, it's the same principle of knowing that this thing is there. You have to insure your car. Sometimes they ask for home insurance, even as a renter. Some people will ask you to do that renter's insurance. And you do it. You do it. I mean, and then when it comes to rent, some people also complain about rent. I mean, if you want to live in the city and you want to live in a big house, then you gotta pay the price, okay? There are some places where rent is cheaper than others. There are some places where rent is more expensive. So it depends on your taste. There are apartment buildings, there are townhouses, there are houses, they are fully detached, they are partly detached. Depends on your taste and your pocket. So if you have the pocket, you start choosing. And then one mistake immigrants make, I must mention, is that when you come to Canada, stop looking at the Joneses. I beg you. You don't want to look at the Joneses. You don't want to be like the Joneses. You don't want to compete like the Joneses, okay? Do your own thing, face your own lane. There are people that have been here in Canada 13 years, 15 years. You want to come here and compete with them? You want to live in the same house that they live? You want to drive the same house that they drive? I know Nigerians, you like all these kind of things. Show off, show your car, show your house, show your clothes. If you do all that, you're going to get into debt. And you can easily get into debt in Canada. You know why? Because of credit cards. They give you credit cards. They allow you, encourage you even to buy things on credit, to be in debt for a long time. Encourage you to. I mean, you have what we call a credit score here in Canada, and it's based on credit. If you don't use your credit card and you don't buy things on credit, you won't have a good credit score. So you are like forced to use credit card. You are forced to buy things on credit. You can do that for your credit score, but please always pay it back. Don't pay the minimum, pay everything back. I pay all my credit cards at the end of the month. I don't owe. I don't pay any interest for any credit cards. I also don't look at the Joneses. Yeah. Don't go to church and be looking at what car this one is driving. Hey, my car is small. Look, this person's car is big. Their house is big. A lot of them are living in debt. Because there are a lot of them who are able to pay, but a lot of the people you see who have these big cars, big houses, nice clothes, probably are in debt. You don't want to compete with them. You just came, Abby. Slow down. Make sure your children get in school. Concentrate on building up a fund for your children's education. Concentrate on saving for retirement. Concentrate on making sure you have all the things that you need. Concentrate on being debt-free. Concentrate on competing with Amaka or James or Buki or Sandra. Don't concentrate on that. I mean, use a credit card because you have to build your credit score, but don't let it become a lifestyle. Don't leave the important things and start chasing things that are not so important, okay? And then I also talked about appointment. One a small thing. I don't know why people complain about appointments. You have to make an appointment to see a doctor. You have to make an appointment to get your car fixed. You have to make an appointment to do a lot of things. People are busy. They don't want to just walk in. They are walking clinics, of course, but if you need a family doctor, if you have a family doctor, you need to make an appointment. Some walking clinics also, you do need to make an appointment as well. So I mean, basically you're leaving your country and you're an immigrant. That's why it's called immigrant. You're going to another country to kind of build a life for yourself and your family. And it's not a short-term project, it's a long-term project. It's not even a medium-term project. This is about you. This is about your life. This is about your family. You don't want to be looking at take other people's experience and then make it your own. Have their own paths. You have your own path, I have mine. Have theirs. Don't say because it's not working for them, it won't work for me. Yeah, everybody is running their own race and we all have different experiences. People come here and in 3 months they have their dream jobs. Come here and in 3 months they are driving Uber. Uber is great, by the way. Come here and in 3 months they don't even know where they live. Come here and in 3 months they are in debt. It depends on you. You have to have a plan. Don't forget to hold on to God, pray, trust God, make friends, network, be nice to people. If you're nice to people, they'll be nice to you. I mean, a couple of the jobs I got my last but one job, someone just reached out to me and told me, "Hey, my company, they are doing this." It was a great job. I didn't have to look for it, but because I was nice to her, I was her friend. She reached out to me. I know there are people whom I know these things, I won't tell others. We're not talking about this kind of people. So these are some of the truth or lies. No one told me. Truly, no one told me these things before I came to Canada. I kind of found out these things by myself, and I've seen all the stories flying about of how Canada is not a great place, how Canada is a scam. Canada is cynical. We heard people talking about that concerning the UK as well, and some places in Europe they came with so much high dreams. Don't come here with high dreams. This is not heaven. No, Canada is not heaven. There's no gold on the road. There's no money on our trees. We also work for money. We also do all the things that we need to do. We also get ill and go to the hospital. We pay bills. We owe money. We borrow too. So human beings that live there, live here. Funny enough, you'll be amazed at the financial education and literacy level of some people in Canada, permanent residents and citizens. I'm not even going to go into that. So they are not like that kind of money-wise. A lot of them don't have that much money, but this is a credit society. And you can get practically anything you need on credit. Okay, I hope that I haven't sort of like dampened your spirit today. I just want to tell you the truth and the lies no one told you about to Canada. Personally, do I regret coming to Canada? My answer is no. It's absolutely great to me. Came here with level expectations. Like I knew I wasn't gonna like hit it. I was scared coming to Canada. I was scared. I was leaving a great job. I had a great career back home. I was doing well. I was headed for the next, management position. But I had to leave for my family, for my children, basically, for a lot of other things. And I came and I knew it wasn't gonna be heaven. I lived in the UK previously, so I know how it is like to be an immigrant in the country. So I came here with a level set of expectation. Canada has been great to me. I've had the pleasure of meeting people who have shown me what to do, who have educated me, who have held me by the hand, who have been my friends, people who have been here for years. I've told me, "Shay, do this, don't do that. This is how to do this." I'm very grateful to them. And this is why I'm paying forward. I'm paying forward by telling you to some of these things. You can reach out to me if you have any questions about, oh, will this work for me in Canada? Nobody can tell you whether something will work for you. I see people asking me, will this work for me? I don't know now. I don't have a ball, crystal ball that will tell me the future. I can't tell the future. Only God can. You need to hold on to God. You need to pray, whether you're Christian, Muslim, Buddhist, whatever it is, call your God though, to help you as you're coming to this Canada, so that you settle, so that God opens your eyes and you see the opportunities. There are opportunities here. Just that immigrants, we're just focused on job, focus on getting a job. We don't look at the opportunities, our business opportunities, our entrepreneurship opportunities, the opportunities in the permanent residence. Like, see, it's just for you to know where to look. So these are some of the truths and lies no one told me, and probably no one told you, but I'm telling you now, so you won't say you didn't know. So thank you very much. I don't want to talk too much. I'm going to make other videos talking a little bit about some of the things that I mentioned here and expatiating on them a bit more. Like I said before, don't forget to subscribe to my video, like it, share it. And when the comments are open, leave a comment for me. Tell me what you want me to talk about, any issues you have, any topics you would like us to talk about. And we're going to be making a few more videos talking about some of these things so you become a little bit more informed and more educated while you're coming to Canada. Thank you for taking the time to be with me on this video. I am very grateful. I don't take it for granted. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll talk to you in the next video.